Hey guys, Bill coming back at you again with another video. Today we're going to be doing a little work on the zombie sunsets in the Mars Hydro 5x5. Get them ready to flip next week. And we'll also take a look at the Mars Hydro Adlite supplemental grow light comparison. I'm starting to see some changes in there. All right guys, so first off, let's get some work done to these zombie sunsets. Before I show you them today, I want to take you back 2 weeks ago. Here we have, this is the day after we planted these zombie sunsets into the Mars Hydro 5x5. Most of them are in the Aircube ebb and flow grow system. We have 7 there, and we also have 2 in the middle that are just regular 5-gallon fabric pots. This is the day after transplant. Let's skip ahead 7 days. Here we are a week after. The growth was amazing. I was really happy with the growth of these. That being said, let's skip ahead to today. Boom. Here they are now. Actually, I'm recording this on Tuesday, so that's actually 13 days since I've planted them into these pots. And look at the fantastic growth we have here. Everything is doing fantastic, super healthy. Not a lot of differences between everything, and as I've mentioned in the first couple of videos, we do have some different stuff going on here. Obviously, there's 2 fabric pots here in the middle that are getting fed once a day, but even with the air cubes, we got a little different things going on in here. These first 2 here, these have copper sheets in the bottom under the fabric bags that are made for the air cube system. The reason we are trying that is because we did have one plant that started growing roots down into the tubing here on the last grow. Didn't seem to bother it, but I wanted to try to see if copper would stop the roots from actually being able to do that. So we have copper sheets, big copper sheets in these. These 2 here, we have small 3x3 inch copper pieces just over the center hole to the tubing, just to see what that would do. Those 2 back there are just growing normal. And then this one back here, this one is in a 3-gallon round fabric pot, just a regular fabric pot that is set into the air cube bucket itself, being fed on the same intervals as all of the other air cubes. So we have a few different things going on. Not seeing a massive difference between any of them. The ones in the fabric pot, they do seem to be not as wide. Let's see here. Let's take a look. They're still really healthy, but take a look at the sides here. Nice, big, round. This one, you know, it's good. It's nice and healthy, but not as full. And look at this one. Same as this one back here. It's really nice. This one's better than the front one, but still not quite as full as the side ones. And I think we might see a little bit more difference as we get into flower. We might see some more changes, differences between the ones that are being fed once a day and the ones that are going to be fed 6 times a day. Now, that being said, we're going to flip these very soon. I've had people say, well, you should wait, let them grow a bit taller, and we don't really need tall. Tall in an inside grow doesn't necessarily equate to more bud, or better bud, I should say, because light penetration on an inside light, no matter what light you're using, the penetration will only go down so far. Now, you can add a few weeks to your grow and do what we did last time with the Georgia pies, which worked beautifully. We can do selective harvesting. We harvested 4 times on the Georgia pies, which turned out fantastic. Or we can just flip them a little sooner when they're a little bit shorter and not have to really deal with that. What we're going to do today, we're going to lollipop up. You can see how close they are to the ground here. This one not so bad, but we'll clean up a little bit down there. And quite a bit of these are quite full down on the bottom anyway. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull one out at a time. We're going to clean up the bottom. We'll take off a few of these really big leaves here. Big leaves that are covering bud sites underneath of them. We'll take off these, and we're also going to top each plant, or at least most of them, each plant we're going to top once. Now, we may not top like this one here. This one has lots of top buds here, so we may not even bother topping that. But if we look at ones like this, we've got all this stuff down below, and then the main top here. If we cut that off, even just a couple of nodes down there, that'll cause growth hormone to spread out to the side branches, and they should all grow up at fairly the same time and give us more good top quality buds. So that's what we're going to do today, guys. I'll take a couple out. I'm going to pull these out first, set them aside, and then I'll pull out maybe these two front ones here. We'll work on them on video, and then I'll turn the video off, finish up all the rest of them. These will be the last two so they can go back in there. That's kind of why I put these here, so that I can move them out to get to the back. Also, I am curious to see how they grow in the regular fabric pot, the way I always do it, as opposed to the air cube system. So yeah, we'll grab these ones out, set them aside, and we'll get you guys up on the tripod, and we'll start getting these ready for flower. Okay, so here we have the first one. This is one of the ones that had full sheet of copper on the bottom. Let's take a look at the bottom. I just pulled it out. Now we have lots of roots on the sides. She's definitely looking good. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to pick this up without dumping everything out, but there's the bottom. No roots on the bottom. A little around the edges, but the bottom is root free. So I'm assuming that the copper is working. Let's go ahead and get this trimmed up. I'm going to start here at the top just to get these big leaves off here. Big fan leaves blocking a lot of stuff further down, so we'll go ahead, pull them off. Let's see here. Now we're also going to top this one. So we got a bunch of side buds, all pretty much in this area. So we're going to cut it down to be pretty even with those. So we're going to come all the way down right here. Okay, pull that off. So now we should get all of these. Let's pull off. Or you can pull that one off too. So now we've got a bunch of buds here, including these ones around the sides that are pretty close to the same level, and they should all grow up to be good top quality bud. All right, let's just open them up, make sure there's lots of light to get to them. Now this will recover in about 2 seconds. Especially in this system, everything just seems to, it doesn't really matter what you do much to them. They're so resilient. Pull one more off here. So that's it for that. Now I'm going to come down to the bottom and first pick off a few of these big long ones here that are going down past the pot. So spread that soil back out. Picking the pot up kind of squishes the soil a little bit. But you can see here, the soil is still, well, not soil, but the peat moss and the cocoa and the perlite is still really nice and loose. And that probably helps quite a bit too. When you're feeding from the top, a lot of times you're packing that down. Where it's feeding from the bottom and then just slowly draining out, it doesn't seem to compact it as much. So hopefully you can see this, but we're just going down here cleaning out anything on this bottom area that is close to the surface. We want to get lots of good airflow going down through here. We'll do the same on this side. Let's see, maybe I'll try to lower this phone a little bit. See if you can see it a little bit better down in there. So anything below the top canopy is coming off. Now even some of these little branches here, we're going to pull them all off. Okay. Come in here a little bit. Now they're still quite young, so they're not tough. Like after 3 or 4 weeks, they start getting that really tough exterior on the stems and stuff. this here, I can still use my fingers, my fingernails, for some fairly good sized stuff without having to use the clippers. Okay, swing that around. Look in here, some here. Might even take this one off. I don't take it off now, it'll come off later anyway. So there's no sense putting energy into it now. Just about done. Doesn't take long to do this, and it really can increase your yields and your quality by taking off all the stuff that's not going to produce much. All that energy can bypass all that and then head right up into the top buds. So there, I think that one's probably fine. Should open it up a little bit. The light down on it. It's pretty much the same height. So now we've gotten rid of probably 10 bud sites altogether between the bottom, and then we went down 3 or 4 nodes on the top. So, but that now leaves us this, couple there, couple there, couple there, couple there, all these ones, this one. Get rid of those leaves, tuck them down there, some there, and then some as well over here. So that's still plenty of tops for this plant. And where we got 9 in here, we don't need 100 tops on each one. I think this many tops is plenty for this area. So that's one of them. Let's grab one of the ones with the small copper and see if there's any difference on the bottom as far as the roots so far. All right, so here's the one with the small copper sheet on it, and I think it's stuck to the bottom here. Let's see here. Yeah, it's stuck to the bottom there. Not a lot of roots on the bottom at this stage, so I guess we're not really going to learn too much about that until later on. But we'll go ahead, clean this one up, and then I'll let you go while I clean the rest up. So pick off these big leaves here so we can see what we got to work with. Okay. Over here, what do we got? Okay, so this one we've got right around this layer again is where our prime real estate is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to top this one the same. I'm going to go right about here. Nice looking top there. Could definitely get a few clones out of that. I've got lots, so I don't need them right at the moment. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and start checking out the bottom here. Big bushy down here. So same thing. Picking off all these bottom branches. It's hard to get them all, and even if you think them all, if you leave even just a little tiny piece, by the time you harvest, you got, you know, a decent size larfy buds down on the bottom. So try to get it as good as we can. Okay. But yeah, super easy, super soft stems still. Makes it so much easier. Get rid of that too. All right. There. Nothing to it. Yeah, one more side here. Just check this out. Not too bad. All right, so we got the same thing. We've got took a lot of stuff off down below there. I'm gonna pick that one off too, but still leaves us with, you know, a couple here, a couple here, a couple over on this side. Open that up a little bit, and then a bunch up here and over on this side. So there. Looks good. I think that's I think that looks pretty good. So we'll go and set that one back in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera off right now, and we'll come back when we're all done, and we'll take a look at it at that point. All right, guys, we are finished. That didn't take too long. Probably, well, maybe 3 to 5 minutes a plant. Yeah, probably around there. Everything turned out pretty good. We got everything fairly level. So I definitely think next week we will be flipping. I did use one tie down. I didn't LST anything except for this one plant, because by the time I cleaned out the bottom, there was a big gap here, and this one was right next to here. So I did pull that down. Probably the smallest plant right now. Well, I guess it's a toss up between that one and that one. The rest of them are all pretty good size. So yeah, definitely will fill this tent, no problem. I could probably flip it right now and it would still fill the tent, but we're gonna let it go just for one more week. The roots on all of them were coming out of the sides, and some more than others, but very little out the bottom, which is fine. But I just want to give it one more week just to fill that root ball just a little bit more before we flip the lights to flower time. So anyway, cleaned them out really good. Lots of tops there. Took a lot off. Here's the big box here. This is a good size box, and we took quite a bit out there. So that's what we took off, but still a lot left. Lots of tops here. Really excited to see how this turns out. Now, on another note, let's go check out the Mars Hydro Adlite Supplemental Light Comparison Grow. See how that's making out. Okay, so here we have it. We have the Adlite Comparison Grow. Very simple to see what we've done here. One side is partitioned off, and we are using the Mars Hydro FCE 1500. On the other side, we're using the same Mars Hydro Grow Light, plus their Adlite Supplemental Grow Light. So we have deep red, we have IR and UV, 3 on either side. The deep red is on. As long as the main light's on, the deep red is on in flower. Everything's looking really good in here. They're starting to get their terpenes. They're starting to come out now. Really fruity, grapey, blueberry type smell, and very, very pleasant. Now, let's talk about differences here. There are some differences this week. I started seeing it last week, but this week I feel like I'm more sure about it. Sometimes when you watch a plant grow every day, sometimes it's kind of hard to see the difference. But I do feel that there are some differences here to talk about. In order to get a better look at it though, I'm going to turn off the deep red light just for this part of the video, just so that each plant will have the same light that we're observing the plants with. So we'll just go up here and we're going to pull that out. That will turn off the deep red. Now when we look at them, they have the same colorations. So biggest difference I see right now is these buds on this side with the Adlites. These buds tend to be bigger. I mentioned that last week, but it was very slight. This week I see it quite a bit more. The bulk of them is bigger. Obviously they're taller because we did end up turning the IR and deep red on before the stretch was done, which I'm not going to make that mistake last time. As we can see, this one is stacked just a little bit better because of what we did there. Really nice looking plant. There's nothing wrong with either one of these plants, but These ones, the buds are just, they're chunkier. They seem to be a little more dense, and strangely enough, they seem to be a little bit more mature. Lots of trichomes there. Really nice. Even down farther the plant, there's still really nice, good, chunky buds. And like I said, these are still really nice too, but the buds just aren't quite as big and a little looser. Not much, still really nice, but a little looser. As far as leaf to bud ratio, I think they're about the same. One thing I did notice with this one too, if we look down here, we see barely any red as far as red stems and stuff. We might see a couple, maybe a little bit there, but for the most part, all the stems and the veins are green. Not a whole lot of red. If we come down on this side, there's quite a bit of red. Even closer to the top, we can see lots of red on the stems. Now I'm not sure what's causing that, whether it's the UV or the deep red or what it is, but I do notice there is just quite a bit more red on the stems and also on the stalk itself. You see here we got some red. Now this does too, but we got to go way down here in order to see much red. We've still got what, three weeks left, I think. 3 weeks, and that's when I think they're going to show the most. They're going to start bulking up, they're going to get their size, and their calyxes are going to swell and the hairs are going to brown up, and in that point I think we're going to see a fair difference, but I could be wrong too. Like I said, we still got a few weeks to go. But overall, I would definitely say the Adlite is taking it right now, but you'll have to keep coming back and see how she turns out in the end. All right, guys, so there we have it. We got the zombie sunsets all ready to flip for next week. I may not have a video up next week. I may be going on vacation, but I'm going to flip them anyway. And so the next video, they will be flipped either way. Adlite's doing good. Only a few weeks left on that. I'm really excited to see how that finishes up. I was kind of skeptical on the whole thing, but I really think the edge so far is going to the plants with the Adlites. So we'll see in a few weeks when they finish up, and we'll definitely get a weight on them when they're done. That's going to be the main thing, the weight, the density, the quality. I have no way to test them or anything, but we'll take a closer look at them here down the road. All right, guys, huge shout out to Mars Hydro, main sponsor of the show. If anybody's interested in any of Mars Hydro's products, which is pretty much all I use, whether it's tents, lights, fans, exhaust fans, heat mats, you name it, check out Mars Hydro. I have links down below to all of Mars Hydro's online stores, also some Amazon links. Check them out, and be sure to use my code BWARD to save yourself a little bit at checkout. Also, growace.com. They're the ones that sent me the AirCube Ebb and Flow grow system. This is my second time using it. Absolutely love it. So I will also have links down there, and you can also use my code BWARD there and save yourself 5% on any of the AirCube Ebb and Flow grow systems. So feel free to check that out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy growing.